Hey everybody, welcome to the Y Project, the show with a 2-drink minimum, because we're going to talk about social issues that you wouldn't talk about normally with your friends. So let's get started. We have our friend Frankie.
Hey, what's up? I'm that dude.
And we have our other beautiful friend, Michelle.
Hello.
Girl, that's her.
And today we're going to talk about all of the amazing superpowers of the generations. So every generation is very special, has its own unique gifts, whether it's the boomers and their badass hippie selves, or it's the Gen X slacker generation really making waves in the 80s, or it's our generation techie nerds like myself who are on YouTube making videos like a doofus. But anyway.
It's only funny because it's true, but we love it.
Now, start us off with some of the boomer superpowers.
Well, as we all know, the boomers spent their years growing up being social activists. So you got the hippies that just went with the flow, did their thing. You had the feminists that were rebelling against the 1950s, like, perfect housewife thing. And unlike our generation, they really got out there. They got in the streets. They went to Washington. They marched. They protest, tie themselves to trees, all that good stuff. Then you have them as credit card crusaders. Instead of waiting and making sure you have the money, why not just charge it on a card? And that way you can have what you want, and hopefully it won't come to bite you in the ass later. Suburbanness, like, why live in the city when it's the same price to live in the suburbs? Which apparently I learned the suburbs are called the rabbit hutch because that's where everyone comes and they start their families. And the last one is what?
That's kind of funny.
I think it's hilarious. So, you know, when I have my 20 kids, that's what I'm going to call my home. Welcome to the rabbit hutch.
So did yes.
Parrot.
My grandparents had 8 kids. That makes so much sense. I'm just gonna get a sign, get it like wood carved and everything. A rabbit.
Nice.
And like put it above their house and be like.
Will they get it
Grandma's
though, or will they
rabbit
be like?
They probably won't get it. They'll probably think it's something. Oh, them young whippersnappers.
Of course. All you young whippersnappers there. And the last thing is that they were really on point with Vietnam. You were either a dove, which was like for peace and why are we there, or you were a hawk and you were ready to fight.
Yeah. You don't have a draft, which is like a huge deal. Like, if you go into the military, you volunteer to go in the military. So, yeah, that's a big change between their generation and other generations after this.
No, it is, and people that go in there and do it, bless their hearts, because they are amazing. I know I couldn't do it. I don't have the balls. I have them. I just don't have theirs.
So we're going to talk a little bit more about Gen X and what are some of their superpowers and what are their super weaknesses sometimes. So they were some of the first people in America to actually grow up in integrated society. So diversity has always been something that's been a part of their lives in schools. People in the boomer generation, not all of them necessarily grew up in integrated schools. Also, there's a middle child syndrome for the Gen Xers. They sort of are begin the middle of 2 huge generations, like the boomers and the millennials. And the boomers and millennials are so vastly different. Sometimes they don't know exactly what makes them stand out. And so we also call them the we're all right ringleaders, because they don't really think that there's too much distinctive about their generation compared to the boomers or the millennials, and sometimes they just feel like they get left out of the conversation altogether. They were a 90s economy surfer, and they got the benefit of having one of the best economies in years, not in just years, but in decades. and they got the opportunity to get jobs and experiences that people our age just don't have because we've never had the economy to support such experiences.
Of course, we're totes jelly of you BT dubs.
Totes jelly. Not to mention my husband said I'm not allowed to say jelly in the house.
Why?
It's not
What
a real
if you're
word.
asking for bread and jelly?
Tell us a little bit about the Gen Y generation. Not that we want to talk about them every week, but tell us a little bit about some of our superpowers.
I gotta say, we are super awesome, amazing, and that is very biased, and I'm attesting to that. But, no, for realsies, you gotta admit, like, we were raised with the technology, so we know how it all works. I mean, to us, it's easy. You point and click it. Yes, Uncle John, you point and click it. He's like, how do I attach a message to an email? I'm like, really? And because of that, too, we already know how to do it. We're super impatient about it. It's like, for me personally, I'm not going to make the best parent. I know I'll be an awesome dad, but when it comes to teaching my kids things, I'm going to be super impatient. Just because that's the nature of it. We're used to getting things faster, easier, better, stronger. Daft Punk comes to mind. But
sorry.
And never over. But yeah, so we're
who those people are. So.
But I mean, in the same manner though, that's why like millennials, Gen Y, whatever you want to call us, we make awesome employees because we're super time managed because we can do things faster and we're better at prioritizing. So that's why like we're starting to take over a lot of like the middle management and everything. So you're starting to see a big change in how a lot of companies operate and advertise. And I think that's awesome because people get it. Even the older generations. I shouldn't say that. Oh my gosh, are you going to bleep that out? Please do. I don't want people to think.
Older generations?
Shh, that's a bad word.
Maybe they won't have their hearing aid turned up and they won't notice.
Maybe they're probably not even going to watch.
Yeah, true.
But no, I mean that's like really we are instant access pioneers. Like for serious, that's what we do. We love the instantaneousness. I didn't say that right, did I?
No, that was
instantaneousness.
Yeah.
Of like everything, but I mean it's just kind of what we are, and I can have an appreciation for that. So we're super tech savvy, and we're good at doing things faster, making them easier because we were raised around the technology. I mean, we went to school with it, so it's natural to us, and that's about all. I mean, I think that's why we are the way we are.
Yeah. I think, like, a lot of the times, like, doing things fast and efficiently sometimes fail people in our generation. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people would rather take shortcuts and not really do it the right way because they're just used to doing everything faster. So I think there's a quality versus quantity issue in our generation that definitely needs to be considered. Like, I discriminate against people at yard sales. I do not buy stuff from people in our generation because we buy crap. We totally buy crap. Walmart piece of crap. And then we expect it to last a generation. I would rather go to somebody in the 50s who might stare at me like I'm a crazy person and, like, get something from them because I know that they bought something quality and it was like an investment for them, you know?
No, true, yeah, because you think about it now, it's like furniture 50 years ago was made a lot better than the furniture is today. It really is. They didn't need warranties back then. Why? Because you didn't need it. You knew it was going to last. Where now it's just kind of like, how can we make this faster and easier so that we can produce it better? All because people wanted to make a lot of babies. We got houses to fill with couches and appliances and all this stuff because suburbia is booming.
Yeah.
Exactly. We don't have time for this. I ain't got no time for that.
Which brings us to memes. We are meme-oriented. We know how to laugh at stereotypes and not feel judged.
very, very true. Like, I think there's like a fine line between like being PC and being in. Well, I think there's a big line between being un-PC and being insensitive. And sometimes people don't like know that line. Like when they're trying to like actually make a joke, and when they're actually making a joke that's based on something really hurtful, and it's because they don't know anything about like what they're making a joke about.
Exactly.
So
There's a huge difference between ignorance and being derogatory. Huge
yeah.
difference. Sorry, those are big words right now. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like a human issue, but it's sort of getting better with time.
It is.
Yeah, as we all like talk to each other more about like what everybody is about, and I think in our culture, like being individuals is a huge deal. Like everybody gets the opportunity to be the best self that they can be, and that's really important to me. So I don't know, Mel, what do you think about our generation? You tend to kind of relate with more of the older generations.
I think I'm old school. I come from older parents. When you look at most people my age and the age of their parents, mine are in their mid-60s already. Having older parents totally makes me a little more old school, where I'm like, hard work gets you where you go. And like, if you're going to do the job, do it right. Make sure you always have paper copies, which, by the way, I have not binders full of women, but I have binders full of things to run my house. How old school am I? And frankly, the here is like, take a picture, and you can upload it to Evernote. And I'm like, what? What if the internet goes down? Then what?
We can make
you yourself before you wreck yourself. If
the internet goes down everywhere, it's the apocalypse, and you should just be prepared for anything to happen in general.
Well, see, that's why I keep my stuff as paper copies. You never know when the internet's going to break.
The only thing we have in paper copy are books, and then we have an army survival guide, just in case.
I have a pile of mail like 6 months old that I don't look at. Like snail mail.
For paper?
Yeah, like I'm looking at this, I'm like, I may need this later. And I put it in a pile, and then when the pile gets too big, I hide it from Sean so he doesn't see it when he gets home.
You guys, millennials are gonna die if there's like the internet and technology breaks.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do?
We're gonna have to stop masturbating.
That's why you walk. This is also why you watch The Walking Dead, to get inspired about your zombie apocalypse plans. So create your emergency access apocalypse plans. I'm prepared. Are you prepared? This is your PSA.
I am not prepared because I've never seen The Walking Dead or Archer or... What else have you guys referenced that I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about?
Yeah, you're our official Generation X representative.
Now to talk a little bit about the generation, we're going to talk about some of our guilty pleasures from right now. So, Frank, tell us your brand new guilty pleasure for the week.
This is when you know I'm getting old. I started using makeup. I can't believe I'm saying this. This is called Miracle Skin Transformer Face. Okay, so background story. I work for HSN, and I love working there. And usually, like maybe once or twice a month, they'll have these things called, well, maybe once a month or once every 2 months, they'll have these product fairs where they show all the representatives and all the employees that are coming in, like, hey, you know, this is what we're going to have on TV, this is what we're going to sell, and I got a sample of this stuff, and it is great. It's so light, you put it on, it's kind of like a moisturizer with tint in it and SPF, and it's amazing. It's called 5-in-1 Tinted Skin Enhancer from Miracle Skin Transformer Face. Sarah McNamara. I probably said her name totally wrong. Don't be mad at me.
McNamara?
Probably. But
I like McNamara better.
This totally isn't a plug-in. This is really my guilty pleasure, I promise. Like, I've been using this like this whole week, and I've been like, it feels great. because it's super light, and I touch my face like during the day, and I'm like, ooh, there's stuff on it. I'm like,
Welcome to every experience of every female on the planet. Like, damn, there's something on my face all the time.
Well, anyway, please, off of me, go. Michelle, what's your guilty pleasure?
Well, you guys missed it unless you've been watching really carefully. I have been able to partake in my guilty pleasure, which is my husband's steak. And it's not what you think it is. All you dirty people, get out of the gutter. No, I'm talking about Publix green-wise steak, seared 500 degrees, medium rare, just so it moves a little. It's like butter. Butter going down. Who knew meat could be butter? Yeah.
What about you, Sharon?
Oh my gosh, like, it's been an issue for the last couple weeks, but even though this might be a lazy choice because this is everybody's thing right now, I'm like super addicted to that Kim Kardashian app game. It is like freaking ridiculous. I've been like acting like getting to the A-list is the only thing that matters in my life. I own 2 businesses. I have another job, and I'm still trying to get to the A-list. I had to literally delete the thing off my phone so I could go about my normal day and function like a normal human being. That thing is the devil. It should be shot. No, just put your phone down, get a gun, shoot your phone. That's how everyone should be destroyed. It's terrible.
You are, that is definitely guilty pleasure. I think you win.
Yeah. The Kardashians are taking over.
Oh gosh, yeah. I'm sorry. I must admit, I do like their show. It's like watching a slow motion train wreck. It's like watching a flock of dumb turkeys like going about their life with a lot of money.
Hey everyone, it's awesome being back. I know between Michelle, myself, and Taryn, we've really loved, reaching out and being that touch base for the speakers out there for the millennials, aka Gen Y. So please, thank you for joining us, and please definitely hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you watch us again, and definitely, share. It's awesome having you all.
Well, thank you guys for watching our possibly drunk, not quite drunk ramblings of what are the superpowers of all the generations and what makes us great. So we'll see you next time. Hopefully we'll have a show in the next coming weeks. Keep your eye out on the channel. Subscribe so you can get notifications on the next time we have a show. And we'll see you then. Bye.
Peace! That was too much. You got to make your own wishes happen. You can't wait for a genie to come and do it. That's for damn sure.